get real-time Secretary of State data. So we offer real-time, as in whatever reflects on the Secretary of State, we are going to have it for you. We can even get screenshots. So that data will be there available as screenshots, documents where it's available, officers where it's available. We're gonna get all the data that you can get from the Secretary of State. We can get it. We have integrations into all 51 states. And when a business registers, when they start, they have to register their business. And the Secretary of State tracks things, especially, this is what most people want, is things like the status, like is the business in good standing? And this is to help them assess risk. The big things they're looking for are fraud. Is this business real or is it not real? We went through and we did a research project where we wanted to find all the different statuses that exist with the Secretary of State. We found 402 different statuses in all 50 states. This is kind of a big deal. Let's say that you, as the savvy commercial underwriter you are underwriting a business for a commercial loan, and you see the status come back from the Secretary of State as suspended. What does that mean? Is that a concern? Should you hold off on this loan when everything else looks great? Well, we're going to talk about this more in this video. So it's really important that you understand the different statuses that each Secretary of State provides and what they mean. Today, we're going to walk through the statuses specific to a certain state, New Mexico's 11 business entity statuses you need to know. Number 1, Revoked Final. This status indicates that the entity's registration has been permanently revoked due to non-compliance with statutory requirements, such as failure to file annual reports or pay required fees, and the entity has not rectified the situation within the allowed time frame. Lenders should consider this status as a significant red flag, indicating severe non-compliance and potential financial instability, making the entity an extremely high-risk prospect for lending. Let's proceed to number 2, Active. The entity is currently operational, compliant with all required filings and regulations, and is legally authorized to conduct business in New Mexico. This status generally suggests a lower risk for lenders, as it indicates the business is meeting its legal obligations and maintaining good standing, which can be a positive indicator of operational stability and financial responsibility. Number 3, Revoked. Similar to Revoked Final, but this status may still allow for a period during which the entity can rectify its non-compliance issues to regain its active status. Lenders should approach these entities with caution, as the revoked status indicates significant compliance issues, but the potential for reinstatement suggests the business may be working to resolve these problems, requiring careful assessment of the entity's current efforts and financial situation. Let's proceed to number 4, Canceled. The entity's registration or authority to operate has been canceled, typically at the request of the business or due to administrative processes when transitioning out of business activities. This status suggests the business is no longer operational, presenting a high risk for lenders and likely making the entity ineligible for most lending products due to its ceased operations. Number 5, Inactive. This status indicates that the entity is not currently conducting business activities, but it still exists legally. This can be due to various reasons, such as suspension or temporary cessation of operations. Lenders should be wary of inactive entities, as this status suggests a pause in operations that could impact the business's ability to generate revenue and repay loans, requiring thorough investigation into the reasons for inactivity and plans for resuming operations. Let's proceed to number 6, Withdrawal. This status is used when a foreign, out-of-state entity formally withdraws its registration to operate in New Mexico, often when ceasing operations or relocating. For lenders, this status indicates that the business is no longer authorized to operate in New Mexico, which could significantly impact its ability to generate revenue in the state and may signal broader operational changes or challenges, necessitating a reassessment of any existing loans or lending considerations. Number 7, Voluntary Dissolution. The entity has chosen to dissolve legally and cease all operations, a process initiated voluntarily by its owners or shareholders. This status represents a high risk for lenders, as it indicates the business is in the process of closing down, likely making it ineligible for new loans and potentially impacting the repayment of existing debts. Let's proceed to number 8, New Corporation. Indicates that the entity is newly registered and has been recently incorporated under New Mexico law. While this status suggests a legally compliant start, lenders should note that new corporations often lack extensive credit history or proven operational stability, potentially representing higher risk and requiring more thorough due diligence in lending decisions. Number 9, Involuntarily Stricken. The entity has been removed from the registry involuntarily due to non-compliance with critical legal requirements or failure to respond to official communications regarding its status. This status is a significant red flag for lenders, indicating severe compliance issues and potential operational or financial problems, likely making the entity an unsuitable candidate for lending. Now let's proceed to number 10, dissolved. This status signifies that the entity has been formally dissolved and is no longer in existence. This can occur either voluntarily or involuntarily. For lenders, a dissolved status indicates that the business has ceased to exist legally, presenting an extremely high risk and making the entity ineligible for lending with potential implications for any outstanding loans. Number 11, statement of intent to dissolve. This status is declared when an entity files a formal intention to dissolve with the Secretary of State, beginning the process of winding down operations and eventually leading to dissolution. Lenders should view this status as a clear indicator of impending business closure, representing a high risk for new lending and potentially affecting the repayment of existing loans, necessitating immediate review of any current financial engagements with the entity. All right, let's look at an example if we wanted to do something like this and kind of how Cobalt Intelligence can help you with this. This right here is an example using this API. Now, Cobalt Intelligence is an API first, where the idea is that you can get all this data via API and get it integrated right into your system. Let's say you search for this business, 199 Franklin RC in California. So we're gonna hit send, and this is what we get back. Now, the status is suspended FTB, and this right here, specifically for California, is the Franchise Tax Board, which means it's delinquent with its taxes in California. Not enough to be terminated, but enough to put it in suspension. So this is somewhat of a risk here. Now, this could be hard to go through because, like we said, there's 402 different statuses out there. So what you can do is use this normalized status, where we go through and interpret these things, and we mark it as inactive. And we're gonna put those as two different options. It's either going to be active or it's going to be inactive. And so then you can programmatically, as you integrate this into your API and as this is processing through your software, you're going to get a feedback that says, hey, this business is active or inactive and may prompt further note. So it can kind of take it down certain paths. Now, if I was building this, I would use that as, like I said, a programmatic decision maker and put it in the this needs questioning right here. If it's inactive, I'm going to automatically put this in stipulations where someone's going to have to go and follow up further. And then you could display this string of suspended FTB, and then your underwriters could go through and check it and say, okay, this is something we need to dig further into, and this, or maybe not, or maybe we just decline the file altogether. I hope this has been helpful for you to see how these different statuses in the state can really vary and how it can be different for you and impact your business. I invite you to try the Secretary of State API. We have a free trial that it comes with, so you can go ahead and try it out. We also offer paid pilots, so you can try out a big number of searches and see really if the data is something that can be helpful for you. I'm Jordan Hansen. If this has been helpful at all, hit that like and subscribe button. We will help you out with what you're trying to do. Thank you.